Hello, St. Paul's, and welcome to the fourth week of Advent. We have a reflection for you today, a reading and a reflection from Luke chapter 2. In those days, a decree went out from Emperor Augustus that all the world should be registered. This was the first registration and was taken while Quirinius was governor of Syria. All went to their towns to be registered. Joseph also went from the town of Nazareth in Galilee to Judea, the city of David called Bethlehem, because he was descended from the house and family of David. He went to be registered with Mary, to whom he was engaged and who was expecting a child. While they were there, the time came for her to deliver her child, and she gave birth to her firstborn son and wrapped him in bands of cloth and laid him in a manger, because there was no place for them in the inn.
Birth. My muscles clenched and shifted my bones into place. I cried out, pushed with feral force, and Joseph received that crown of dark hair into the world. He cut the cord with his knife. Then Joseph washed Jesus, amazed at his tiny fingers and toes, and comforted his cries, even as Joseph's own tears fell. Finally, Joseph handed that tender boy to me, and I wrapped his unruly fists in bands of cloth. I coaxed him to my breast. I sang to him, tickling his cheek as Elizabeth had taught me, until he latched on and sucked. Then Jesus cooed with contentment as he looked into my eyes. I cried as I told Jesus the story of Gabriel's visit, Elizabeth's welcome, and John's birth. I spoke of the tender care that Joseph had given me, how he had hidden me. One of Jesus' fists escaped the cloth, and I laughed through my tears as his tiny fingers flexed. As I took in this infant's intense stare, I knew that my orderly life had been upended. That tiny child, in his frailty, vulnerability, and disorganized movements, was God. I held the hope of the world in my arms, and at that moment I knew that God blessed the poor, the hungry, and the weeping. Jesus, help us to know the power of your vulnerability. We will conclude this final installment of our midweek devotions with Savior of the Nations, come. Savior